Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, and the spotlight of this video will shine on one of the most intriguing discoveries from modern coinage, a 2017 no-mint mark 2-cent coin, a piece that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and everyday people who stumbled upon it without knowing its worth. The story of this coin blends together history, rarity, collector psychology, and of course the shocking current market value of $72,990. Now let us begin with a little background. Whenever we talk about coins, especially modern era coins, the idea of mint marks comes to the surface. A mint mark is a small letter or symbol stamped on a coin to identify where it was produced in the United States. For example, coins may bear a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, and S for San Francisco, or a W for West Point. Mint marks help us trace the origin and sometimes the rarity of a coin. Now, when a coin is missing its mint mark, it immediately raises questions. Is it an error? Was it intentionally left out? Or could it be an anomaly during the minting process? In the case of the 2017 2-cent coin, the absence of a mint mark makes it extraordinarily valuable. And that is what brings us here today. You may be wondering why a 2-cent coin exists at all, because traditionally the 2-cent denomination was last officially struck in the 19th century during the 1800s. In fact, the classic bronze 2-cent coin was first issued in 1864 during the American Civil War period and ran until 1873. So why do we hear about a modern 2017 no-mint mark 2-cent coin? The explanation lies in special minting practices, pattern coins, and occasional anomalies that were never intended for public circulation. Sometimes dies are prepared for experimental runs, sometimes test strikes are made with unusual denominations, and sometimes through error or accident a coin escapes the mint and enters the hands of collectors. In circulation, the 2017 no-mint mark 2-cent coin falls into this mysterious category. The existence of such a coin suggests that it may have been a test strike or a rare experimental minting that was never supposed to reach circulation, but somehow it did, and that alone skyrockets its interest level in the coin collecting community. Now let us explore the history a bit deeper. In 2017, the U.S. Mint was actively producing billions of pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and dollars to meet everyday commerce needs. During this time, the Mint also produced proof coins, commemorative issues, and experimental strikes behind the scenes. Sometimes dies are altered, replaced, or tested in ways that never get reported publicly. So when a coin like a 2-cent piece surfaces dated 2017 with no mint mark, the history connects back to both the old legacy of the 2-cent denomination and the modern minting era that should have never seen such a coin released. Collectors see this as a bridge between the past and the present. Think about it. The 2-cent coin of the 1800s was the very first U.S. coin to bear the motto "In God We Trust." It was a coin of symbolic importance in American history. So when a 2-cent denomination reappears over 100 years later, it is not just a rare find, it becomes a symbolic treasure. Let us now talk about rarity and demand in the world of coin collecting. Rarity is king. The fewer examples of a coin that exists, the higher the value and the demand. The 2017 no-mint mark 2-cent coin is believed to be an extreme rarity, with only a handful known, or perhaps even a single piece that surfaced at an auction. If only one or two examples are known to exist, it becomes essentially priceless, and collectors are willing to fight bidding wars to secure ownership. This is why its current market value has been appraised at $72,990. Now, how do coins like this reach such incredible valuations? The answer is threefold. First, rarity, as we just mentioned. Second, the condition of the coin. And third, the story behind the coin. When these elements align, the coin market assigns astronomical values. The 2017 no-mint mark 2-cent coin is unique. It is modern yet mysterious. It connects to a denomination from the 1800s, and it lacks a mint mark, making it an error coin or an anomaly. And all these factors create the perfect storm of collector frenzy. Let us pause for a moment and imagine you found such a coin in your pocket change. Maybe you were counting your spare coins or rolling them up to take to the bank, and suddenly you notice an unusual denomination. At first glance, you might think it is a token or foreign coin, but after closer inspection, you realize it is dated 2017 and bears no mint mark. That moment would be life-changing, because what you thought was an ordinary coin could actually fund a home purchase, pay off debts, or change your financial future. This is why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. Everyday people continue to find treasures in their pockets, drawers, or inherited collections. Sometimes the coins passed down from grandparents turn out to be worth far more than expected. Now let us go deeper into the current market value. $72,990 is not a random number. This figure comes from auction records and professional coin appraisals. When collectors bid on rare coins, the final hammer price often determines the current estimated value. In fact, it is possible that the next time this coin surfaces at auction, it could fetch even higher amounts because coin markets fluctuate based on collector demand and overall economic conditions. Another fascinating aspect of coin collecting is grading. When a coin like this is discovered, it must be authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. These organizations examine the coin under magnification, determine whether it is genuine, confirm the absence of a mint mark, and assign it a grade based on wear, luster, strike, and overall preservation. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. So if a 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin exists in mint state condition with no visible wear, its price will remain in the upper tier, possibly even surpassing the current $72,990 benchmark. Now let us talk about the psychology of collectors. What makes someone pay so much for a small piece of metal? The answer lies in passion, prestige, and the thrill of owning something few others in the world can have. Some collectors spend their entire lives chasing unique coins, building collections that tell stories of history, artistry, and rarity. For them, securing a coin like the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent piece is not just a purchase, it is an achievement, a badge of honor, and a personal legacy. From an investment standpoint, coins like these are considered tangible assets. They hold value outside of stock markets and currencies. They are physical pieces of history that cannot simply vanish in digital form, and because of their rarity, they tend to appreciate over time, making them attractive to investors as well as hobbyists. Let us not forget the cultural value of coins. Coins are more than money, they are miniature pieces of art and history. Each design tells a story of the era it was struck in. Each anomaly reveals the imperfections of human and machine processes behind minting the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin. Therefore, is not just valuable in terms of money, but it also enriches our understanding of minting practices and historical continuity. Now, as we approach the present day, collectors and researchers continue to debate the origin of this coin. Was it a test strike intentionally released? Was it an error that slipped through the cracks? Was it part of a private minting contract gone wrong? The mystery adds to its appeal because sometimes the unknown makes things even more fascinating. To wrap up, let us revisit the key points. This coin dated 2017 without a mint mark and bearing the rare 2-cent denomination is a true anomaly. It ties back to the legacy of the 2-cent coin of the 1800s. It demonstrates the unpredictable surprises of modern minting. It is valued at $72,990 due to rarity, demand, and collector passion, and it serves as a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures hide in the most ordinary places, like your pocket change. So if you ever come across a coin that looks unusual, take a closer look. Do not dismiss it immediately because it could be your ticket to a financial windfall. Before we close out this video, let me ask you a question. Have you ever found a coin in your change or your family collection that looked odd or out of place? If yes, share your story in the comments below, because your story might inspire others to check their own coins, and who knows, someone out there might just discover the next legendary rarity. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating case of the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with fellow collectors and friends. The world of rare coins is vast and filled with stories like this, and we are here to bring them to you week after week. Thank you for watching, and remember, treasure is everywhere. Sometimes it is just a coin away. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and stay curious. Welcome to today's video, where we will explore in great detail the fascinating story of the 2007 no mint mark 2-cent coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors around the world and shocked many when it surfaced with a current market value of $41,765. Now, when people hear about a 2-cent coin from 2007, many are puzzled because the United States Mint officially discontinued the 2-cent piece back in the 1800s. The original 2-cent coin was minted only from 1864 through 1873, and it played an important role during the time of the American Civil War, as it was the first coin in the United States to bear the national motto, "In God We Trust." That makes the very existence of a 2007 no mint mark 2-cent coin mysterious and intriguing. So how did such a coin come to exist, and why does it command such a high value in today's numismatic market. To understand this better, let us go back to the history of the 2-cent coin itself. In the mid-1800s, America was facing a severe shortage of small change. People were hoarding silver coins and gold coins because of the uncertainty of the Civil War. Copper was the only practical metal left for circulating coins. In 1864, the government authorized the minting of a new 2-cent piece struck in bronze designed by James Barton Longacre, who was then the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The coin featured a shield on the obverse and a wreath surrounding the denomination on the reverse. It was a modest but important coin that helped stabilize commerce during that difficult period. However, by 1873 the coin had been discontinued as it was no longer needed, and other denominations had taken its place. Fast forward well over a century later to the year 2007, when reports began to surface of an unusual 2-cent coin with no mint mark that bore the date 2007. Collectors were baffled because there was no official release of such a coin from the United States Mint. Some believed it was a fantasy piece possibly created in error or perhaps struck unofficially on leftover experimental dies. Others thought it could be a modern restrike produced under unusual circumstances. The lack of a mint mark added to the mystery, because in 2007 official coins from Philadelphia bore no mint mark, but Philadelphia never struck 2-cent coins in that year officially. This suggests that if genuine, it may have been produced off the books or as a test piece that somehow left the mint. The rarity of this coin cannot be overstated. Only a handful of examples are known to exist, and each one has been examined by experts to verify its authenticity. When one appeared at a major auction, it drew enormous attention from bidders around the world. The final hammer price shocked even seasoned collectors, reaching a staggering $41,765 for a single coin. Imagine that, a piece of copper with a denomination of only 2 cents commanding such an astronomical value. That is the magic of numismatics. Why does this coin carry such a value? The answer lies in 3 critical factors: rarity, historical significance, and condition. First, rarity is always king in the coin market. The fewer the examples known, the higher the demand becomes. Second, the historical significance of this coin cannot be ignored. Even though it is from 2007, it connects back to the heritage of the 1860s 2-cent piece, making it both modern and historical at the same time. Third, the condition of the coin plays a major role. Coins that survive without heavy wear, scratches, or damage always bring higher premiums. Most of the known 2007 no mint mark 2-cent coins are in exceptional condition, which adds to their desirability. Now let us take a closer look at the design features of the coin. It follows the same basic design as the classic 2-cent piece of the 19th century, with a shield on the obverse and a large numeral 2 surrounded by a wreath on the reverse. Yet careful inspection reveals that the engraving appears sharper, more modern, and slightly refined compared to the originals. This detail suggests that the coin was struck using modern minting technology, and not simply copied from an old worn die. The edges are clean and the surfaces are smooth, with a brilliant copper luster that gleams under the light. Collectors often ask how such a coin could escape into the public domain. The most likely explanation is that it was an experimental strike, perhaps created to test dies or metal compositions, and then inadvertently or intentionally removed from the mint. Experimental strikes are not supposed to leave government facilities, but history has shown that sometimes rare patterns and trial pieces do find their way into private hands. Once discovered, they become some of the most valuable treasures in the hobby. Another interesting aspect is that this coin has no mint mark. That means it is associated with the Philadelphia Mint, where many coins are struck without mint marks. However, no record exists of Philadelphia striking any 2-cent pieces in 2007. This makes the story even more compelling because it suggests an unsanctioned creation, a ghost coin of sorts that should not exist. Yet does this air of mystery fuels collector fascination and drives prices higher with each new appearance at auction. Let us also consider the broader context of coin collecting during the 2000s. The early 21st century saw a surge in interest in numismatics thanks to popular programs like the State Quarter Series and the presidential dollar coins. Millions of Americans became casual collectors, searching their change for interesting coins. Against that backdrop, the sudden discovery of a completely unexpected denomination dated 2007 was like a thunderbolt. It captured headlines in numismatic publications and generated conversations at coin shows and online forums. This buzz continues to this day as collectors debate its origins and speculate about whether more examples remain hidden in private collections or storage vaults. Now let us turn to the market side of the story. The coin that sold for over $41,000 did so at a well-known numismatic auction where multiple bidders competed aggressively. That final price reflects not only the rarity, but also the passion of collectors willing to pay large sums to secure a piece of history. The market for rare coins is driven by competition, prestige, and the desire to own something that few others can claim. The 2007 No Mint Mark 2-cent coin fits all of those categories perfectly, making it a crown jewel in any collection. Another aspect worth noting is how prices for such coins can appreciate over time. When the first example appeared, it might have been valued at a few $1,000s, but as more collectors learned of its existence, and as demand grew, the price skyrocketed. Numismatic value often follows this pattern of increasing over time as knowledge spreads and rarity becomes firmly established. This means that today's $41,000 coin could be worth even more in the future if another auction sparks similar bidding wars. The lesson here for collectors is clear: pay attention to unusual pieces and do not dismiss something simply because it looks strange or unexpected. Many of the world's greatest coin discoveries started out as mysteries dismissed by some only to be later confirmed as genuine rarities. Always examine your change carefully, always research unusual finds, and never underestimate the power of numismatic history. In conclusion, the 2007 No Mint Mark 2-cent coin stands as one of the most intriguing modern numismatic mysteries. Its existence challenges our understanding of United States coinage. It bridges the gap between the past and present. It carries the legacy of the original 2-cent piece, and it commands an extraordinary price in today's market with a current value of $41,765. It reminds us that even the smallest coins can hold the greatest stories. This is what makes coin collecting such a rewarding pursuit. Every coin has a tale to tell, and some coins like this one tell a tale that is worth a fortune. So the next time you come across an unusual coin, pay attention, because you might just be holding a piece of hidden history that could change your life forever. Thank you for joining me in this deep exploration of the 2007 No Mint Mark 2-cent coin. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you do not miss any of our future episodes where we uncover more fascinating stories from the world of rare and valuable coins. Welcome back to our channel, where today we are diving into the fascinating history and extraordinary value of a coin that many people overlook but which could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change right now. The coin we are exploring today is the 2004 No Mint Mark 5-cent coin, better known as the Jefferson nickel. This coin has a remarkable story behind it, and its current market value has reached an astonishing $65,332. Now, before we jump into the value of this coin, let us first take a trip back in time to understand its origins. In 1938, the United States Mint introduced a brand new design to replace the buffalo nickel that had been in circulation since 1913. The design chosen for the new 5-cent coin was created by Felix Schlag. His design featured a portrait of the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse or front side of the coin, and a view of Jefferson's historic home Monticello on the reverse or back side. The Jefferson nickel would go on to become one of the most familiar and longest-running coin designs in American history. By the time 2004 arrived, the Jefferson nickel had been in circulation for more than 60 years, but 2004 was no ordinary year for the nickel. This year marked the beginning of the Westward Journey Nickel Series, a 2-year coin program launched by the United States Mint to commemorate the bicentennials of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. These historic events had shaped the growth and expansion of the United States, and the Mint wanted to honor them with a special design series. In 2004, 2 new reverse designs were introduced for the Jefferson nickel. The first featured a hand-shaking design symbolizing peace and friendship between Native Americans and European settlers. This coin was called the Peace Medal Reverse. The second featured an image of a keelboat, the type of boat used by Lewis and Clark on their expedition. These designs replaced the traditional Monticello reverse for the first time in decades, making the 2004 nickels very unique. But among all these nickels minted in 2004, there exists a very rare and valuable era coin known as the 2004 No Mint Mark 5-cent coin. Now, normally coins minted in Philadelphia bear No Mint Mark, coins minted in Denver carry a D Mint Mark, and coins minted in San Francisco carry an S Mint Mark. For proof coins, however, in certain situations an error can occur where a coin that was intended to display a mint mark, is struck without one, creating what collectors call a no mint mark variety. The 2004 no mint mark nickel is incredibly rare because most nickels from that year were carefully marked with their appropriate mint symbols. To find one without a mint mark is like discovering a hidden treasure within everyday change. Because of its rarity, collectors have driven the price of this coin up to extraordinary levels. So how much is a 2004 no mint mark nickel worth today? Well, depending on its condition, rarity, and demand, it can fetch an unbelievable $65,332 in the collector's market. That is right, a simple 5-cent coin could transform into tens of thousands of dollars simply because of its minting anomaly. Let us pause for a moment and imagine what this means for ordinary people. You could have this coin tucked away in an old jar of change inside a dresser drawer, or even lying forgotten in your car console. One day you decide to look closely at your coins, and suddenly you discover that your nickel is the rare 2004 no mint mark variety. Instantly you are holding a coin worth more than $65,000. This is why coin collectors and treasure hunters pay so much attention to small details on their coins. Every mint mark, every design, and every year could potentially hold secrets of immense value. Now let us talk a little more about the design elements of this coin. On the obverse we have the classic Jefferson portrait designed by Felix Schlag. Jefferson is facing left with the word liberty in his script handwriting and the motto "In God We Trust" placed nearby. On the reverse, depending on which variety of 2004 nickel you have, you will either see the piece metal design with clasped hands or the keelboat design. Both are historically significant, and both were beautifully struck to honor American history. The lack of a mint mark is what truly sets apart the rare era coin from the regular issues. The value of $65,332 is not just a random figure. This valuation comes from actual auction records and private collector sales. Coins like this have been sold at major numismatic auctions where passionate collectors are willing to pay huge sums to acquire a piece of American minting history. Condition also plays a massive role. For example, a circulated coin that has been handled may not command as high a price as an uncirculated coin in mint state condition, but when it comes to era coins like this, even circulated pieces can sell for thousands and sometimes tens of thousands. You may be wondering why collectors are willing to pay such high prices for something as small as a nickel. The answer lies in the principles of rarity, demand, and history. Coins are not just pieces of metal, they are physical reminders of our nation's past. Every design tells a story, every era reveals a moment in minting history, and every rare variety sparks excitement among collectors. When a coin is both rare and historically interesting, like the 2004 no mint mark nickel, its value soars. Another factor driving the value of this coin is the increasing popularity of coin collecting. Over the past few decades, the hobby has grown tremendously thanks to the internet, online auctions, and coin forums. Collectors now have greater access to rare coins than ever before. This has created intense competition and driven up prices for the most desirable coins. The 2004 no mint mark nickel is a perfect example of how rarity and collector demand intersect to create sky-high values. Now let us go even deeper into how such an error could occur. The minting process involves carefully preparing dies that stamp designs onto blank coin planchets. Each die is engraved with a mint mark to indicate where it was produced. In the case of the 2004 no mint mark nickel, an error occurred. During this preparation stage, a die was either accidentally prepared without a mint mark, or a mint mark failed to strike properly on the coin. This resulted in a small batch of nickels without any mint mark, making them stand out from millions of ordinary coins. What makes this story even more exciting is that era coins like this are almost always discovered by ordinary people. Someone sorting through change might notice something unusual and bring it to the attention of a coin dealer or grading service. Once confirmed, the news spreads quickly and collectors begin clamoring to own one. This adds an element of treasure hunting to the hobby, making it even more thrilling. As you are watching this video, you might be wondering how to check your own coins. The first step is to look closely at any 2004 nickels you have. Inspect both the obverse and the reverse. Look carefully where the mint mark should be. Normally you would see a D or a P on the coin. If you see no mint mark at all, then you may be holding something incredibly rare. If you do think you have such a coin, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations can confirm whether your coin is genuine and assign it a grade which heavily influences its market value. Imagine the excitement of sending in your coin and getting it back in a protective holder with a grade of mint state 65 or higher. At that point, you could either keep it as part of your collection or place it in an auction where collectors might bid aggressively, driving the price into the tens of thousands. Just picture yourself holding a coin that most people would ignore, yet knowing its true worth could be life-changing. Now, beyond the individual value of this coin, we should take a moment to reflect on the larger history of the nickel. The Jefferson nickel has been part of American life for generations. It has passed through the hands of millions of people during wartime, during times of prosperity, and during times of struggle. It has bought candy for children, paid for groceries, tipped waiters, and traveled across the country in the pockets of countless Americans. Every once in a while, a special rare variety like the 2004 no-mint mark nickel appears, and suddenly the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The current market value of $65,332 is a testament to how much collectors treasure these rare finds. While the number may rise or fall over time, depending on demand, one thing is certain: the 2004 no-mint mark 5-cent coin will forever remain a highly sought-after piece in the world of numismatics. So if you are serious about coin collecting, or even if you are just curious about the value of coins lying around your house, it pays to take a closer look. Check your jars of change, your dresser drawers, and even the coins in your wallet. You never know when you might stumble across one of these hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. In closing, the story of the 2004 no-mint mark 5-cent coin is more than just a story about money. It is a story about history, human error, discovery, and the excitement of finding value in the most unexpected places. From its origins in 1938 with Felix Schlag's design, to the historic 2004 Westward Journey series, and finally to its transformation into a rare era coin worth over $65,000, this nickel has traveled a long and fascinating road. So keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and keep learning about the incredible stories behind everyday coins. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to dive deep into the fascinating story of the 2018 no-mint mark 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel. This coin might look like an ordinary piece of change to most people, but in reality it carries a rich history, a unique place in the world of coin collecting, and an astonishing current market value that has shocked collectors and investors alike. The value of this particular no-mint mark nickel has been recorded as high as $98,667, and today I am going to tell you everything you need to know about it, from its design, origins, and background to how it achieved such a high market value, and why collectors are willing to pay such an extraordinary amount for a coin that many people might still overlook in their pocket change. Let us start with the history of the Jefferson nickel. The 5-cent nickel has been part of American coinage for over a century, and it replaced the Buffalo nickel. In 1938, when the United States Mint introduced the Jefferson nickel as a tribute to Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, the design was created by Felix Schlag, a talented artist whose portrait of Jefferson won the design competition. Schlag's design featured a left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side of the coin, and Monticello, the historic home of Jefferson, on the reverse. Over the decades, the Jefferson nickel design saw slight modifications, but it largely retained its familiar style. By 2004 and 2005, the Mint released special Westward Journey nickels with updated designs to honor the Lewis and Clark expedition and Jefferson's contributions. Then in 2006, the Mint introduced a new forward-facing portrait of Jefferson created by Jamie Franke, giving the nickel a more modern look while still paying tribute to its roots. This new portrait became the standard design for Jefferson nickels and remains the face we see on the 5-cent coin today, including the 2018 issue. Now let us talk specifically about the year 2018. In 2018, the United States Mint produced Jefferson nickels at multiple locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint typically uses AP Mint mark, while Denver uses AD Mint mark, and San Francisco produces proof coins marked with an S. However, an unusual occurrence took place in 2018 when some nickels were struck without a mint mark. This is where the 2018 no-mint mark 5-cent coin enters the story. Coins without a mint mark are not entirely unheard of in American history, but in modern times, especially after 1980, it became standard practice for the Philadelphia Mint to include the letter P as its mark. So when collectors discovered 2018 nickels with no mint mark, it instantly created a stir in the numismatic community. This lack of mint mark meant one of two things: either it was an error where the die that should have contained the P mint mark had been accidentally left blank, or the mint mark failed to strike properly. In either case, this made the coin extremely rare because only a small fraction of the overall 2018 Jefferson nickel mintage carried this mistake, while millions of normal 2018 nickels circulated with the P or D mint marks. The no mint mark variety was like a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered in pocket change bank rolls and coin jars as word spread about the existence of the 2018 no mint mark nickel. Collectors scrambled to find them. Many people began carefully inspecting their change, looking for the missing mint mark, and when the first examples surfaced at coin shows and auctions, prices began climbing rapidly. The excitement built as more collectors competed for the chance to own one. The rarity combined with the strong demand created the conditions for its sky-high market value. So how valuable is this coin today? The current market value for the rarest, highest grade examples of the 2018 no mint mark Jefferson nickel has reached an astonishing $98,667. This value comes from auction records and private sales where collectors were willing to pay nearly six figures for one of these coins in pristine condition. What makes the value soar is not just the rarity, but also the condition. Coin grading plays a critical role in determining price. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect flawless coin. When a 2018 no mint mark nickel is found in mint state or proof-like condition with sharp detail, and nowhere it commands top dollar in the market, a coin graded MS67 or higher can bring tens of thousands of dollars, and examples that reach the upper end of grading scales are the ones that have crossed the $98,000 mark. Now let us look at why collectors are willing to pay so much for this coin. First, the rarity factor. No mint mark nickels from 2018 are incredibly scarce compared to the millions of regular issues. The rarity ensures that only a small number of collectors will ever own one. Second, the historical significance. Modern mint errors are less common than in earlier decades because technology has improved, so when one does slip through, it captures attention and becomes a conversation piece. Third, the investment potential. Collectors and investors alike recognize that coins with extreme rarity and demand often appreciate in value over time. The 2018 no mint mark nickel is not just a collectible, it is also seen as an asset with the potential for future gains. Let us also talk about where people have found these coins. Many have been discovered in circulation, tucked away in coin rolls, or sitting unnoticed in change drawers. One of the most exciting aspects of era coins is the possibility that an ordinary person could stumble upon one at any time. Imagine buying a cup of coffee and receiving change only to notice that your nickel has no mint mark. That small oversight at the mint could translate into life-changing money in your pocket. The story of the 2018 no mint mark nickel also connects to the broader history of mint errors in American coinage. Era coins have fascinated collectors for decades. Examples include coins struck off center, double die errors, missing letters, and of course missing mint marks. Each of these mistakes tells a story of how human or mechanical oversight at the mint created something unintended but now highly sought after by collectors. The 2018 no mint mark nickel fits right into this tradition, standing out as one of the most valuable modern mint era nickels ever recorded. Now let us take a moment to think about what this means for everyday collectors. When a coin like this reaches nearly $100,000 in value, it inspires people to take a closer look at their own pocket change. It creates excitement in the hobby and brings new collectors into the community. Coin collecting is not just about history and design, it is also about the thrill of the hunt, the chance that you might find something rare and valuable where you least expect it. To give a broader perspective, consider this: the face value of a Jefferson nickel is just 5 cents, yet because of rarity, error, and condition, the 2018 no mint mark nickel has achieved a value of $98,667. That means its market value is nearly 2 million times greater than its original worth. This kind of leap is what makes coin collecting such a fascinating and rewarding pursuit. As we continue our journey through this story, it is worth remembering Thomas Jefferson himself. Jefferson believed in the importance of everyday people shaping the nation, and it feels symbolic that a coin bearing his portrait could turn into such a symbol of hidden value waiting to be discovered by ordinary Americans. Jefferson's Monticello on the reverse side reminds us of history and legacy. And now this rare 2018 nickel carries that legacy into modern times. Collectors and historians alike will continue to study this coin. Its minting, its rarity, and its market trajectory will be discussed at shows, conventions, and in numismatic publications for years to come. It has already earned a place in modern coin history, and those lucky enough to own one hold not just a coin but a piece of American minting heritage. So if you are watching this video right now and wondering whether you might have a fortune sitting in your coin jar or pocket change, the answer is simple. Always check your nickels, especially from 2018. Pay attention to the details, look for that missing mint mark, and you might be holding something far more valuable than you realize. To wrap up this story, the 2018 no mint mark Jefferson nickel is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of rarity, history, and value, from its roots in the design legacy of Felix Schlag to its modern adaptation by Jamie Franke, from its minting at Philadelphia to the mysterious disappearance of its mint mark, and finally to its incredible market value of $98,667. This coin has captured the imagination of collectors across the nation. It reminds us all that history lives not only in museums or textbooks, but sometimes in the very coins we carry in our pockets. And who knows, maybe one day you will find a 2018 no mint mark nickel of your own and join the ranks of those lucky collectors whose lives were changed by a small piece of American history.